Yeah, man. Good afternoon to you again, my peeps. How are you doing? Since then, you've been again with another live. This time on sports. I know you have become accustomed to me bringing some political lives, but you know, at this point, I want to speak a little on the topic of sports specifically, right? On the Zurich Diamond League today. Today is the final of the Diamond League, which was held in Zurich. And I want to focus my attention only on a couple of races, not all the races. Some of the races are important to Jamaica and some are not that important. Now I'd like to start off first with Ackera Nugent, our second place finisher at the National Triumph. Well, Ackera Nugent won the final today, posting 12.30, which is a season's best. And she got the better of Deja Kambunji in 12.4, who ran 12.40. And of course, Grace Stark of the US in 12.44. Interestingly, Danielle Williams also posted 12.44 in that final, the same time as Grace Stark of the United States. But guess what? They gave the nod to Grace Stark, as they usually do to the Americans when you are in photo finish. They always find a way to say the American won by some thousandth of a second. It's nothing new to Jamaica. We saw it even last year at the Olympics with Kishin Thompson and Noah Lyles. Only 1,000th of a second separate them. But it started even before them. We have the duel between Merlene Otti, I think it was Merlene Otti and Gail Devers. Photo finish again, the American got the nod. And even before that, you have Ramagino of the US. I think it's Lindsay Ramagino, I think it was, or Ian Herb McKinley did the exact same time, photo finish, and they give it to the American. So we have seen that in every instance where there's a photo finish between a Jamaican and American in major competition, the American gets the nod. Then we move on to the women's 400 meter. Wow, vintage Salwa Eid Nazir has returned, and she posted 48.70 to get the better of the Olympic champion Lady Paulina of Dominica, who posted 49.23 for second, and of course Jaga Henrietta, who posted 49.48 for third. And when we go down now to the men's 400 meter, wow, the UPS boy is delivering. I'm so happy for him. Ja'Cory Patterson of the United States, he won the men's 400 meter in a sub 44 time. He actually posted 43.85. And of course, the Botswanian Bayapo Endure was second in 44.40. And of course, another American, Vernon Norwood, was third in 44.45. So, that completes for the 400 meter. In terms of the men's 100 meter, the US already has 4 entrants to the World Championship. So even though Christian Coleman, right, won the men's 100 meter final today in 9.97 ahead of Akane Simbini in 9.98 and Akeem Blake of Jamaica in 9.99. That was a blanket finish. But usually the winner of the Diamond League get a bye to the World Championship. However, on this occasion, because the US already has 4 entrants, the maximum allowed at the World Championship, then unfortunately Christian Coleman will not benefit from the victory today. He will not get a bye because the US already have 4 qualifiers to the World Championship. But Akeem Blake was in the mix too. I mean, it was a blanket finish, 9.97, 9.98, and 9.99. Akane Simbini, of course, as I said earlier, from South Africa, he was second in 9.98, and our own Akeem Blake of Jamaica was third in 9.99. But I want to spend a little time on this final race, which is the race between the race that featured Julien Alfred and Tia Clayton of Jamaica. Now, Julien Alfred actually won the women's 100-meter final in a time of 10.76, almost in dead condition, wind reading being 0.3 meters per second. Dead condition. Our own Tia Clayton was second in 10.84. And of course, Dina Asher-Smith was third in 10.94. Right? So that's the top three. But this race is of particular importance to me because I hope that Tia Clayton would have won this race and would have gotten the bye. As you know, Tia Clayton suffered an injury in the final of the women's 100 meter at the J3's National Championship that was held in June. And as a result of that, she finished at the back of the pack due to injury. But we know that Tia Clayton is actually in form because in the semi-final at the National Championship, she posted 10.86. Then 2 months later, she came back and she ran 10.82. And then today, 10.84. So she's a consistent 10.8 athlete, a low 10.8 athlete now, going more towards 10.7. And I figure probably if she had some win today, like a 1.2, she probably would have gone 10.7. But Julien Alfred of St. Lucia, Jojo, an athlete that I like very much, she actually spoiled it for Tia Clayton. She actually derailed Tia Clayton's chances or opportunity to compete at Worlds in the 100 meter. Initially we were told that Julien Alfred would not run in August for the rest of the month. That's what we were told. I don't know if she was ducking Melissa Jefferson or she had some injury, but words were out that she will not participate further in any meets before the World Championship. And then so soon as we were told that Melissa Jefferson wouldn't pulled out of the Diamond League Final and will not be running, then Julien Alfred reappeared. So you wonder if she was ducking Melissa Jefferson, or was it strategic on Julien Alfred's part to say, hey, Tia Clayton is a dangerous athlete at this moment and I am in shape right now. Maybe I should just go and kill off her chances at the Diamond League Final. So when I reach to Tokyo, I won't have to contend with her. That is one less person to contend with. I would just now have to focus on Melissa Jefferson wouldn't. So maybe it was strategic, on Alfred's part to come and just to kind of take Tia Clayton out of the game from early so that she does not reach in Tokyo to compete in the 100 meter by way of a bye. I'm just saying, I could be wrong. But I felt a little flat today because, without Alfred being in that race, that would have been a sure victory for Tia Clayton and she would have gotten the bye to the Tokyo World Championship. Okay, blessings, I see you watching. Right? Now, the question is, Mar Turner, blessings, I see you watching too. The question is, I know the rules of the G3 is as it relates to who are given the opportunity to represent the country. And, first three past the post, First three past the post. And we don't have a bye in the 100 meter for women because we don't have a defending champion for sure. And then the opportunity that presented itself by way of the Diamond League Final today was evaporated when Tia Clayton finished behind Julien Alfred. But how do we move forward in knowing that You know, Tia Clayton is really in form. In fact, Tia Clayton and Tia Clayton, you know, I would say are our number one and number two 100-meter sprinter this year. And I think Tia is really the number one because whenever she and Tina meet up, she gets the better of Tina. You know, she gets the better. The last race they ran when Tia posted 10.82 for second, on that occasion, Tina was fourth. You know, running 10.91, I believe, on that occasion. So, are we sticklers for the rule in a blind way? Or do we use the rule as a guide but not be shackled by it? Shouldn't we also be guided by pragmatism, by what makes sense? Or do we just stick to the rules even it is clear that an athlete is not in the shape to probably even make the final? We just go with the rule because the rule is the rule and that's it. Unfortunately for me, I can't think that way. I'm a very fluid kind of thinker. You know, I am a very fluid, versatile, you know, kind of elastic type of thinker. I have to be flexible. And I think flexibility demands, not ask, but demand that we ensure that we have our best representative representing the country. You know, I mean, people can suffer mishap. It's not a case, for example, that Tia Clayton did not appear at the national trials. She was not a factor there. She actually was the number one person running at that trials. And in the final, she suffered a mishap, which can happen to any human being. She recovered nicely, and she's in good form, impeccable form, going into Tokyo. So, at 21 years old, do we tell the young Turk that she must wait another 2 years to compete when she is in shape now? You know, certain type of decisions, you know, you have to have courage and balls to take them, you know. That's just my opinion. Sensenya speaking for Sensenya, for nobody else at this moment. But it is going to be, for me, very difficult not to see a Tia Clayton participating in the 100-meter at the World Championship when clearly she is our number one sprinter at this time. That simply just doesn't sit well with me. You know, I believe in the rule, but sometimes rules have to be bent. Rules have to be bent. I'll tell you something. Let's give you a little example. If I am driving and the stoplight says red, by law I am supposed to stop. That's the rule. When the stoplight is on red, you stop. When it is on amber, you prepare to stop, so that by the time it is on red, you stop. And when the stoplight is on green, then you know we go. Errol Salke, blessings to you on the line. Erdel Campbell, blessings to you on this live. But suppose you're at the stoplight now, and the stoplight is on red, but you are looking through your rearview mirror, and you see that a vehicle is advancing at great speed, seemingly out of control, either because there's some mechanical problem with the vehicle or something has gone awry with the driver. And you realize that if you don't move, that vehicle is going to come and ram in the back of your vehicle and probably kill you. What do you do? Do you say the stoplight is on red so I can't break the stoplight, or do you do what is pragmatic, what is sensible, knowing that even though the rule is that you stop on red, but on this occasion, given what is happening, I have to break the stoplight? Because if I don't break the stoplight, if I don't break the rule, I'm going to be a statistics. I'm going to die. So the point I am making is this. that rules, are created to create some order, some semblance of order. Rules are there as a guideline, but rules by themselves does not speak for everything, because sometimes there are some exceptional circumstances which necessitate that you break rank with the rule. You have to do things in a sensible way, because I'm sure in life, even though you follow a certain pattern, a certain rule, if there are changing circumstances which could put your life at risk, or the life of others at risk, you'd have to do things differently from the rules to ensure that lives are protected. As simple as that. So when I look at the rules at the national trial, I understand it, and it is fair. And if no one else was running as fast as those girls, then the rules apply and the three go through. But what if you have members of that trio that were successful at the J3 National Championship? What if we start to see declining fortunes? Their performances are falling off. But then someone who was the number one athlete who got injured in the final has maintained consistent form, running 10.8. What do? Do we send the rules and hope at the Tokyo World Championship, hoping that the rules and hope will triumph? Or do we do what is sensible? Looking at the current form of athlete, because why do we go to the World Championship? Is it not to win medals? If not the gold, then the silver, and if not the silver, then the bronze, or to make the final if we can't win any, because that's still raise your profile, when you make a final. And if you win a bronze medal, it even raises your profile a little higher. And if you win a silver medal, it raises your profile that much higher. And ultimately, if you win the gold medal, then your profile is at the very top. But we have to do things in a sensible way. You see, part of the thing sometimes is this, when sometimes we create people who are larger than life. It makes us become almost imbeciles. It makes us become almost incapable of making good decisions. Because sometimes, we have to make decisions for the country, at the expense of an athlete. Sometimes it's not about an athlete getting the opportunity to compete when clearly the athlete is not in any shape to compete. Sometimes it's about taking the best decision with another athlete who is more likely to make a final, who is more likely to medal based on the times that that athlete is running. Right? Sometimes we just have to do what is right for that athlete and the country, and sometimes doing what is right for another athlete and the country will require some time. We have to just do the courageous thing, which is sometimes to just tell another athlete that, time come, because at the end of the day, we want Jamaica to garner medals, and we want our best prospects. You see, we cannot always be reliant on history. We cannot always be reliant. History has served its purpose. And you have to look now, especially in terms of athletes who are no longer at their peak, no longer at their best. Because these younger athletes that we are seeing, like the Melissa Jefferson Wooden and the Sha'Carri Richards, say, oh yes, Sha'Carri She might not reach the form that we want her to be in yet, but oh yes, Shakari, yes, and Julien Alfred, they are not taking any prisoners. The track and field landscape has changed to the point that if you are not at your best running sub 10.7 or low 10.7, you're in problems. That's where the track and field thing is at now, you know. So I believe that, you know, we have to know when to kind of make certain kind of decisions. Because as I said earlier, it would be heart-wrenching for me to see a Tia Clayton, who is clearly Jamaica's #1 athlete, because of a mishap in a final that she has no control over, that she's not allowed to represent Jamaica in the 100 meters. That's my take. That's my take, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. That's why we send our best athlete. I just believe that it is Tia and Tina's time to shine. You know, so I felt it. You know, I don't know what can be done, what is going to be done in terms of ensuring that Tia Clayton runs that 100 meter and definitely be in that 4x1. Definitely. You know, this is not a game thing. We have to understand what rules are. We have to understand these things, you know. George Montague, blessings, my brother. Yes, George Montague, I do understand the dilemma that we are in. First 3 past the post, that's the rule. But what if first 3 past the post and we have a much brighter star? What? Because it's not a case that that star did not report for duties, you know. That star reported for duty and was leading the pack all the way going into the final, and something happened. And that star took a break and she has come back, and she has been a model of consistency, running faster than everyone that we put out there and beating the whole world. The only 2 athletes right now that is ahead of Tia Clayton right now is Melissa Jefferson Wooden and Julien Alfred. There's no other athlete ahead of Tia Clayton in the world. None. She is our #1 athlete this year, and I find it to be incongruous that our #1 athlete is not allowed to compete. You know, that's kind of arrogance, you know. We don't have the luxury, we don't have those kind of depth to stop our #1 athlete from representing Jamaica. 21 years old. This is her time to shine. You know, that's just how I look at life. I don't care. That's how I look at life, you know. Young legs, strong legs that can do the rounds. That can do the rounds. That can do the rounds. Young, strong legs, 21-year-old legs that can do the round. You know, we need to look at other variables when we're making decisions. And I believe that the time has come when we should not be constrained by the things of the past. I believe going forward there is need to revisit certain rules, how the rules are crafted, and specifically what the rule says, and the type of exception clauses that are necessary to ensure that someone like a Tia Clayton can find herself representing Jamaica. It's not like she is someone who was on the margin, like she is a 4th string or a 5th string athlete. I mean, she's our #1 athlete. For the entire year, she's our #1 athlete. She has performed the best of all athletes, winning races too on the international circuit, and defeated all and sundry that we have to send. All of them she has beaten. Every single one of them she has beat when she line up with them. Once she's healthy. So how do we move forward? Do we carry the old rules or do we embrace a new way? You know, I have learned in management that whatever decision is taken, always people are going to be pleased and others are going to be displeased. It's a fact of life. Can't change it. Whichever decision you take in life, there are people who are going to be pleased and there are people who are not going to be pleased. And the question is, for some that is, who do they not want to displease? And who do they want to please? And for me personally, I don't care who I please or displease if I think I'm making the best decision on behalf of Jamaica. I don't care. I want the best decisions to be made at all times. And so I believe that Tia Clayton should get the nod, you know, to go and represent her country and herself on this occasion. That's my 2 cent words for today. Peace, blessings, I am out.